So the Jacksonville Jaguars go bold, sort of like the color of the jacket. Travis Hunter is dancing his way out of the green room in.
An incredible last memory of taking the field with his sons, Shador and Shiloh, here at Folsom Field at home.
Talk about my girl. Go talk about your girl. Go find a girl. Go find a life. Stop worrying about what I got going on. I know what I got. I know my girl. My girl been with me for 5 years. Y'all are just not starting to talk about me and just not starting to be with me. Like, come on, man. Y'all go do something else with y'all life.
Could Travis Hunter actually be announcing a transfer? Because if the whispers going around right now are true, this isn't just a football move. Word on the street is that this whole thing has nothing to do with plays, contracts, or the scoreboard, and everything to do with his wife, Leanna. Fans are convinced one of his own Jaguars teammates got way too close to her. And when I say too close, y'all know exactly what I mean. Now here's where it gets wild, the timing. We're not talking off-season trades or end-of-year shakeups. This would be mid-season, out of nowhere. And the internet thinks the reason is personal, messy, and straight up humiliating if it's true. We've got old clips, shady locker room rumors, and a marriage that's already had cracks showing. If even half of this is real, Travis walking away might be the least dramatic part of the whole story. So here's the thing, as y'all know, transfers happen in the NFL all the time. Players switch teams, chase better contracts, go where the money is. But the way Travis Hunter's situation is playing out, yeah, this one feels different. We're talking about a guy who's been hyped up as one of the Jags' future stars, suddenly packing up mid-season, not at the end of the year, not during a normal trade window, now. And when something like this happens, people immediately start asking the same question. What went down? If this was about football, you'd expect the usual safe answer. It's business. I'm ready for a new opportunity. Just focusing on my career. But the silence from Travis, that's what's making people suspicious. Especially when you compare it to how vocal he was when the Jags drafted him.
I did do some Zillow researching for a house last night, so I had a feeling.
I'm sure you have talked to everybody about playing both ways, offense and defense. What are we thinking? Is there, you're leaning towards one more than the other, or do you really want to go 100% both ways?
Nah, I'm not leaning to one or the other. You know, I'm going 100%. As much as they put on my plate, I'm going to do the best that I can to, you know, take it all in and, you know, do my job.
Awesome. Congratulations,
love it.
Travis. Enjoy the ride, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that's why the internet's digging. Reddit threads, Twitter spaces, TikTok breakdowns, all trying to piece it together. And no matter where you look, the same theory keeps popping up. This isn't about his stats, it's about his personal life. More specifically, a rumor that one of his own teammates might have crossed a line with Leanna. And if that's true, it's not just a bad look, it's career-changing. At first, it was just vague comments, stuff like, check the roster, or look at who she's been talking to. But pretty soon, fans on Reddit and TikTok started dropping actual names. The story going around is that one of Travis's own Jaguars teammates got a little too friendly with Leanna. The way people are telling it, this was one of those situations where you don't even need to hear the full sentence. The look alone tells you something's up. Of course, no one's confirmed anything. The team's not talking, Travis isn't saying a word, and Leanna's been completely silent online. No posts or anything. But she did say in an interview that she maintains her relationship by not letting social media dictate it.
Okay.
Never post when y'all have problems.
Okay.
And be honest, always be honest.
I feel it. You got the ring on right now?
No, I don't.
You don't? Hey.
But you know how the internet works. Silence just makes people think the rumors are true. What really sent the story spiraling was how this lined up with stuff we've already seen before. That clip from months ago of Leanna allegedly chatting and leaning in with a Jaguars player, yeah, that one's making the rounds again. And fans are suddenly looking at it in a whole new way. And here's the part that stings the most for fans. If this is the same player being mentioned in the current rumors, that means the tension has been building inside that locker room for months, which could explain why things started feeling off behind the scenes. There were little signs here and there, reports about the vibe in practice being off. Fans noticing that some players who used to hang out and joke with Travis weren't really around him much anymore.
First time I got to give a shot. Now you're so good. I'm shooting through the glass.
Even in press conferences, the energy felt awkward, like everyone was being careful with what they said. Nobody's come out and said, yeah, there's drama. The team's acting like everything's fine. But when you watch closely, it's hard not to notice that Travis seems more distant. He's not laughing with the guys like he used to, and when he's on the sidelines, he's usually by himself. If the rumor about one of his teammates and Leanna is even partly true, that would explain a lot. It's not easy to practice, travel, and share a locker room with someone you don't even want to look at. And once fans started thinking about it like that, the whole thing began to feel less like just football and more like one of those messy, behind-the-scenes dramas. Now, if the locker room felt tense, home wasn't calmer. Stuff like that doesn't stay at practice. It follows you into the car, the kitchen, the stands. And fans started catching little moments that told their own story. There's that wedding clip where Travis leans in and she turns her head. Quick, but I bet you all saw it. Then later at a game, there's a shot of them in the stands, looking heated, talking with tight faces while the cameras pan past. No yelling, nothing dramatic, just that sharp, low conversation couples have when they're not on the same page.
An incredible last memory of taking the field with his sons, Shador and Shiloh, here at Folsom Field at home.
Put those moments next to the teammate whispers and the silent Instagram feeds, and it reads like a pattern. Not proof, but pressure. For him, every snap at practice comes with a side of, what are people saying now? For her, every public appearance turns into a body language breakdown. And before anyone says we're reaching, these are just some of the signs y'all have probably seen and decided to stay quiet about. None of it screams, it's over, but all of it says, something's off.
It was an accident. Do you remember we...
I love you. Oh, I ain't mean to say that.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's literally what happened. We would like, he would drive, wait, no, I would drive. He didn't have a car. I would drive and I would like drop him off somewhere and I'd be, all right, I love you, bye. And remember? And I used to be like, oh, I didn't mean that.
That kind of slow burn doesn't explode on day one. It builds. And right when it felt like they were trying to ride it out, Travis started changing his routine in a way you couldn't miss. After all those little signs in their marriage, people started noticing the changes weren't just happening at home, they were spilling into his whole lifestyle. Travis used to be pretty open about his life off the field. You'd see clips of him at charity events, hanging out with friends, even doing little surprise appearances for fans. But lately, nothing. No public outings, no casual meet and greets, no fun off-season videos. It's like he went from being everywhere to barely anywhere at all. Even when he did pop up, it felt different. No Leanna by his side, just that same serious, distracted look like he was somewhere else in his head. Fans started wondering if he was avoiding more than just a teammate. Maybe he was avoiding being seen in certain situations entirely. The timing made it even messier. Around the same weeks he started going low profile, the chatter about him and Leanna hit a peak online. And instead of addressing it or posting something to shut it down, he just stayed quiet and let the speculation grow. Some people say that's when you could tell he'd already made up his mind, not just about the marriage, but about his place on the team. And the next rumor that hit made everything feel even more inevitable. According to people close to the situation, Travis and the teammate at the center of all this didn't just avoid each other. They eventually had it out. It supposedly happened after practice, away from the cameras, but still close enough for others to see something was going on. Nobody's putting their name on exactly what was said, but let's be real. With the rumors flying, you don't have to be a genius to figure out the topic. For a lot of fans, this was the, yep, it's done moment. You don't share a field or a locker room with someone if the tension is that thick. By the time this story started making its way into fan spaces, it felt less like gossip and more like a quiet confirmation. And while Travis kept his side of it locked up tight, Leanna's silence was starting to feel even heavier. She stopped posting online, stopped showing up at games, and wasn't seen in any of the usual behind-the-scenes content. For someone who normally had at least some kind of public presence, the sudden disappearance was hard to miss. Fans caught on quickly. A short break from social media is one thing, but this felt like more than that. She seemed to be avoiding the spotlight entirely, so officially, they stayed quiet. But the whispers kept spreading, and the timing of everything made it hard for fans not to connect the dots. From there, the question became less about if Travis would leave, and more about how he was going to do it. For now, Travis isn't saying a word, Leanna's keeping her head down, and the Jaguars are staying quiet. which means the only way we're going to get answers is if somebody finally decides to spill. And if that day comes, the transfer won't be the headline, it'll be the reason behind it. And that's the part the NFL might not be ready for.